I have had the most yummy conversations in the last 7 to 10 days with people of influence that are already in the same space that we're in. They're already influencing nonprofits to make good decisions about building their board or doing fundraising. They are already facilitating gifts of real estate all over the country, millions of dollars worth. One of these guys is already working with realtors to when he refers not a donation, when he refers any listing to a realtor anywhere in the country, when they pay their 25% referral fee, he gives that money, all of it, 100%, to a nonprofit to help whatever situation that nonprofit is helping. So if you're influential and you say, my flag, and you say you're here to help people, to look for solutions, to be an influence for good, then you deserve, should. I'm going to use the should word. I'm going to tell you to should on yourself. You should come to the next charitable real estate masterclass. Now, it is September. This is our 3rd year, 3 years of not only doing the class every month, but for a 6 or 8 month period, we were doing it twice a month. So if you haven't sat in on it yet, it's time. What are you waiting for? And I know you're watching because all these people that I talked to in the last 10 days have been watching the videos. They were familiar with what we're doing. They came right out and said, Cami, I've been following you for a year. It was put on my heart by the Lord to reach out. You know who you are. You know who I'm talking about. So, and I know, and all those that I've talked to are already coming. This is going to be a great masterclass for you to meet and mingle with others who get the vision, who are part of the conversation, who get it. And we are just so excited that these people that we're meeting aren't people that we have to explain it to, that say things like, do people really donate real estate? Is this really a thing? Like, I don't know anybody that would actually donate real estate. Friends, if you don't think you know anybody that would donate real estate, first and foremost, let's expand your center of influence. Let's add people to your Rolodex, to your cell phone, to your following that are actually generous and heart-centered and loving and wanting to do something for the world, or at the very least, so damn wealthy they need a good tax deduction. And secondly, how would you possibly know who you know that would or would not do this when you've never had the conversation? You know, we just last week, there was a building worth multi-millions of dollars that was vacant for 4 years. But you wouldn't have known it looking at the outside because they kept it up. Hundreds of thousands of dollars over a 4-year period, not only on insurance and taxes, but on maintenance and landscaping and electricity and all the things that you need to do to keep a building looking like it is primo, other than anybody being in the parking lot. And those folks, the development corporation that owned that building was created to train bank people. Guess what? They're not training bank people in that building. So they donated it so that the Scott Dawson Evangelistic Association could train people in the ministry to bring the word to the world. We share stories like that of really big multi-million-dollar donations. But here's the thing, it doesn't have to be some uber wealthy person. We've also got stories of Linda Grable, who was donating $25 a year for 32 years. She saw a presentation, she learned that she could donate real estate, and lo and behold, she had a second property in the Poconos, had owned it for decades. It was in disrepair. It was just a pain in the ass for her to even think about hiring a realtor or bringing in a contractor to fix it up or. So she donated it. It was just a $70,000 second home. Friends, you don't know what the people you know would or would not do in this conversation because it's never come up. But with a little bit of knowledge about how this works, it can come up. And not only can it come up, but it can help any nonprofit you love. It can help the property owner with tax deductions, and for those who have it heavy on their heart to actually do more, but they are cash conservative and asset abundant. Cash conservative, asset abundant could be Linda at $25 a year, but has this asset that she could donate. Could be a development company that owns a multi-million-dollar building that is bleeding them tens of thousands a month, hundreds of thousands of dollars, and they figure, if we could write that bad boy off, that would actually be really good for our tax purposes. So cash conservative, asset abundant can be one asset or hundreds of assets. Do not pre-qualify. Do not prejudge. Shame on you. And one of these guys that I spoke to yesterday, Rob and John, thank you for reaching out. Actually, it was the day before yesterday on Friday. Rob made a great point. He said, you know, Cami, if the nonprofit really believes in their heart in what they're doing, if they truly have the most altruistic intentions, if they really are doing what's best for those that they serve, they would tell everyone about the option of donating real estate. He said, you know, it's those that they're not really buying their own press. They're not really believing that what they're doing is benefiting people, or that someone would really give that kind of an endowment. Maybe it works for other churches or other veteran groups or other homeless shelters or other universities, but is ours really worthy? Like, do we really deserve this kind of money? And it's these things that are going on inside people's heads that are keeping them from just having a simple conversation. Here's a little role play for you. Here's how it sounds. This is me on the phone because I'm 55 and I remember when the phone looked like this. I guess now it looks more like that. But anyway, hey, Mary, this is Billy over at the Animal Rescue League. Hey, Mary, listen, I just want to thank you for making the $50 donation at our last fundraiser. Every dollar counts. The puppies really need us. Just really want to thank you. And the other thing is, we have recently learned that nonprofits like ours are benefiting massive amounts of money and helping the animals and stuff from real estate, of all things. Now, look, I don't understand it. I don't know exactly how the whole thing works, but we were told that if we simply let people know, maybe create a post that they could share, or an email or video or something, and just ask everybody to share it, that there could be someone in the ripple effect that would donate real estate to help these animals. And Mary, I know how much you care about the animals, so I'm not calling you today for a donation, just calling you and asking if you could share from our social media the video we're going to be posting this week about charitable real estate. Listen, you have a great day. We've got a car show coming up in a couple of weeks. Can't wait to see you there. Friends, that's all it is. And if your nonprofit's not doing it, why? Why wouldn't you tell people? You will ask your friends, guilt your family, beg business people to give you a basket for the next fundraiser, to go to the GoFundMe account. Just buy one raffle ticket, Bob. It's only $20. We're trying to raise 1,000, or we're not going to be able to pay our electricity this month. Friends, those same people that you're asking to do something maybe they can't afford, cash conservative, asset abundant. Even if they don't have an asset to donate, they know 200 people that you don't know. And those 200 people know 200 people each that you don't know. And if you said to them, listen, go to the GoFundMe account, every $5 counts. But here's the thing. There is a bigger, badder, bolder way for us to bring in 6 times what we've been bringing in cash. And all we want you to do is click share. So on Tuesday, when we do the Charitable Real Estate Masterclass, for the first time at the Masterclass, first time in 3 years, we're going to be talking about how to find the donors of real estate. Now, we've been talking about that every time, but I'm talking about an actual, honest to God, tangible, here it is way to put it on your website. We've got a video, a 30-second high energy, digital, beautiful video that you can have for free, that you can put on your social media or send in an email, etc. We've got copy for free that you can put on your website. And you might say, well, Cami, now that AI is around, we don't really, all we have to do is ask our AI and it will create the copy. Here's one thing, and I'm sure there are millions, but the one thing I know that AI does not understand is charitable gifting of real estate, especially not the way we do it, where it is risk-free for all the nonprofits, no money out of pocket to facilitate the transaction. AI doesn't even understand it yet. Now, in another year, because so much is going to be out about the real agents of change, the ROC, charitable gifting of real estate, the ROC way, the win-win-win way, eventually AI will catch up to it. But by then, it will be on hundreds, thousands of websites. So some people want to be early adopters, be in at the beginning, do something big while it's really unheard of. Now, this has been around for 100 years. Don't get me wrong, we didn't invent it. But the way we do it and the way we are promoting it, for those of you who are early adopters, come on Tuesday. If you're a follower that's waiting for the curve, kind of sitting back, waiting to see what's going to happen, don't bother. 6 months, a year from now, you can AI it and figure it out. But I also know from other conversations that I've been having a couple weeks ago, and even just a few days ago on LinkedIn, There was a woman on LinkedIn who said to me in a message, because I'd sent out a message to a bunch of nonprofits, hey, who would I talk to at your nonprofit about real estate? She has a nonprofit, and she suggested that I speak to this certain person who she's actually related to, who I know and have heard of, who does this for a living, facilitates gifts of real estate. Now, this person that she referred me to has been doing this for decades, thousands of gifts of real estate and business ownership and stocks and lots of different estate planning stuff. So I go to her website, her nonprofit website, knowing that she's related to someone who actually does this for a living, and she has a nonprofit. You would think that on that nonprofit's website, they would already be doing that which we have created for you and your nonprofits, which is every 1.5 million nonprofits, including hers, has a button. And the button says donate, donate here, donate now. And you click on the button, and there's your screen to put your Visa, your MasterCard, your American Express, and the amount that you want to donate. Now, that nonprofit doesn't have a clue how to process a credit card. They don't know what your credit score is, or how much of a limit you have, or what your payment's going to be, or what your interest rate is, or if you're credit worthy. Nonprofit doesn't know any of that. They chose a credit card processor last year, 10 years ago, 30 years ago, and now they have a button that processes credit cards for you to give them cash. So what the Real Agents of Change have done is created the second button. And the second button, right next to the Donate Now button, says Donate Real Estate. And when you're doing a Giving Tuesday campaign, or some kind of capital campaign, or some kind of GoFundMe campaign, or some kind of end of the year, hey, it's a great time for a tax deduction, want to get your last donation in. When people go to your website to click the donate button, imagine if there was a second button that said donate real estate. Never seen that before. Don't know what that is. Like to learn a little bit more about that. Clickety click click. And now there's a landing page. All the benefits of gifting of real estate, how simple it can be, why it's risk-free, all the tax advantages to the property donor, and a 17-page professionally done ebook that we know. We in 3 years, we've never seen another group, marketing company, nonprofit create an ebook around donated real estate. So guess who created it? Now, I personally didn't create it. My team did, because they are brilliant and they are design experts. But it was our collective idea. And putting this second button is a brilliant strategy. So this woman's nonprofit doesn't even mention real estate. All they do is they got their hand out for cash, just like 99.9% of nonprofits in this country. There's another group that we know that facilitates gifts of real estate for 4 specific nonprofits. They're actually under contract. They can only do it for these 4. Fair enough. Been doing it for decades. Cars, art, business interest. I go to those 4 nonprofits whom they facilitate for, not one of them. Now, these are nonprofits who have received money from gifts of cars, gifts of boats, gifts of airplanes, gifts of art, gifts of real estate. They've received the money. They've spent it. They know what's happening because they've gotten the money. Not one of them has a second button. They all got the one button. Here you go. Give us your 3% of cash that you have access to. Give us money off a credit card that you can't even afford. Did you know that there is a company out there, probably multiple now, where you can actually finance a donation to a nonprofit? You haven't made enough tithing to your nonprofit. You don't have $5,000 right now, but you know your nonprofit needs it. This group will give the $5,000 to the nonprofit and let you make payments on it with interest, of course. Somehow that's okay. It's okay for a nonprofit to be okay with their donor going into debt to give them money, but they won't add a second button that lets people know. Not everybody, not everyone. We are not suggesting that everybody that goes to the website is going to give real estate away. And please, for the love of God, I talked to a guy that is so arrogant in the nonprofit world who said, well, if people donate their house, where are they going to live? We are not suggesting that your donors are going to donate their primary residence and go be homeless. We are talking about people who are cash conservative, asset abundant. They're at a place in their life where they want to give back. They want to be generous. They feel it on their heart to give more, but they don't have it in pocket change, and they do have that property that they know they can't take to heaven with them anyway. Tax accountant says I need a tax deduction this year. Kind of tired of tenants trash and toilets. You know, I bought that lot 10 years ago thinking I would build a house on it. I don't even want to go to that town anymore. Like, all these things happen. So those are the people who donate real estate, and you don't know who they are. You just put the button on your site and let them self-select. And imagine if you're a business and you sponsor said button. And as you sponsor said button, kids in this RV park, sorry. You sponsor the button, and then when people click on it, they see your logo. They see your company. They see that your auto dealership or your insurance company or your real estate office cares enough about the community to not just give the nonprofit $1,000 that they're going to spend in a couple of hours, but actually give them a platform to educate people, and even have a 1 in a million shot at getting a gift of real estate. Your business, your logo, your information can be on the ebook that these folks are downloading and sharing with their CPAs and their financial advisor and the minister at church and their husband and friend. As a matter of fact, we did some numbers about how if a business, if they do it the right way with us, that includes emails, opt-in to fill out a property evaluation form, opt-in to receive the ebook, all these things. If the business sponsored not only that page, but the consulting and strategy of how to leverage real estate for real change and bring the for-profit and the nonprofit business together, if they committed to 3 years with that, because look, you're not the only one that's never heard of this. 99% of people are so clueless. but that's okay. We were all clueless about the internet 15 years ago. We were all clueless about automobiles back when we rode horses. We all used to go to the outhouse to go to the bathroom, and somebody got smart and brought that bad boy in the house. It's called indoor plumbing. See, things change, things get better. Smart people implement new ways of doing things. So when a business will sponsor this page and have their logo on it for 3 years, just go ahead and commit to educating people for 3 years with this thing. They can do it for less than $150 a month of marketing cost, marketing investment, return on investment of $150 a month to not only have the button and the landing page and the opt-ins and the emails and the social media pieces, etc., but the consulting, the blueprint. So charitable gifting of real estate is a tool. But how do you use the tool? You need a blueprint. And the person who creates the blueprint is the architect. So they could actually have the architect and the blueprint and the tool for less than $150 a month for 3 years. And friends, if one gift of real estate comes in, average of 600,000, what if it was 50,000? Would it be worth it? So on Tuesday, it is our 3-year anniversary. Right in the post is a link for you to opt in, get the Zoom link to sit in with us. Now, this is a deep dive. This is a 3-hour masterclass. But even if you sat in for 30 minutes, here's what we know. People will say, gosh, that's a long time. That's a lot of my day to take out for this. Well, we get it. But when people come for the first 30 minutes with the appointments that they need to get to, so often they will rearrange their schedule and stay. Or if they can't rearrange their schedule, they say, oh my God, I had no idea. When's the next one? I'll clear my schedule. Or they just get the recorded version and watch it late at night because now they get it. Now they see, oh, for me to invest 3 hours of my time to learn this could actually buy back my life. Because I've been spending 70% of my days and weeks and months and years doing fundraising. And this can help us get funded for life and for generations to come. Here's my analogy about the fishing boat and how this works. And then I'll get off my soapbox and go get on my motorcycle and enjoy this beautiful Orlando Sunday. I love riding on Sundays because there's not as much traffic. Okay, here's the analogy. Here's why. If you're a nonprofit, if you're a fundraiser, if you're a CPA, if you're a realtor, first and foremost. But if you're any other type of business or concerned citizen, influencer who could actually help others do big things in the world, here's why you want to be at the masterclass. Imagine we have a big shipping ship, big boat, big fish boat, big fish boat. There's a dozen crew and there's a huge net. And when they throw this net out, pull it in, thousands, tens of thousands, a little fish. Now, imagine these dozen people. It is hot. It is miserable. They're up first thing in the morning. They are working till the sun goes down. They are sweaty. Their knuckles are bleeding. They are pulling this net in. They're getting all the fish that are tangled out of it. Oh, look, the net has a hole in it. Got to fix the net. Oh, God, it's tangled. It's going to take us 4 hours to untangle it. Finally get it all ready, and they throw the net back out so they can get a few more thousand fish. On the other side of the boat is a really smart, savvy woman with a fishing pole. Now, it's a big fishing pole, industrial, heavy duty, but she's got that pole set up. She's got her chair ready to reel in her catch. And she puts on her sunglasses. She grabs her coffee in the morning, maybe a cocktail in the afternoon. She puts her feet up on the edge and she watches her pole. And she waits. Day goes by. Week goes by. Month goes by. But then she gets a bite. And when she brings in her fish, it weighs more than all those little tiny fish in the net combined. So she may only catch one fish every 3 or 6 or 9 or 12 months, but she's just sitting and waiting for it. These other people are working their asses off to bring in these tiny little fish. Now, this analogy, the ship is the nonprofit and or the philanthropic business owners that are helping. The net are the fundraisers that we do. And the dozen or so people working so hard are the ones that are selling the raffle tickets and showing up at the car show to help guide traffic. They're doing all the things that we all have all done. There's a fundraiser, if there is a car show, a golf tournament, a basket, a raffle ticket, a GoFundMe account, I've been there and I've done it. I know what it's like to be the one hauling that net in. And every one of those tiny little fish, $10 donation, $20 raffle ticket, $50 GoFundMe account. And it adds up. Tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of dollars, depending on how big the ship is and how many people are working the net. It's also the analogy that the ship is the website, because the website is where that net is. Donate now button, donate now button, go fund us button. The fishing pole is the second button. The second button that you put there, because as long as the ship is sailing, long as you're already putting the fuel in the tank, long as you're already out there putting a net out, why not add a fishing pole? And on the end of that fishing pole is a lure, just like any fishing pole. And the lure has yummy, tasty bait for the big, 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 big fish. That bait could be doing the right thing, feeling good about themselves, trying to get into heaven, or a ginormous tax deduction. And the beauty of it is, it doesn't matter what is tasty to that big fish. The end result is the same. The nonprofit gets funded, massively funded. And all they did was put one extra pole out and had one person who was really adept at watching the pole, at seeing if the cork goes up and down, having a little conversation here, having a little gathering there. So I hope that analogy makes sense to you, because I think it's just perfect to show that we're already working our asses off. And charitable gifting of real estate, the second button doesn't have to be some, oh my God, Cami, we don't have time for that. We've got 3 fundraisers coming up. All of our manpower, all of our resources, all of our relationships are doing all we can to promote the gala. And right after the gala is a golf tournament. Now, last year it got rained out, so we need it to work this year. Get back to us in 4 years. Honey, 4 years ain't never going to come. You're always going to be doing the gala. You're always going to be doing the car show and the golf tournament and the bake sale and the barbecue and the raffle tickets. That's okay. Keep doing them. They're fun, I guess, as long as you're doing it for fun and not desperate for the return. But while you're doing those, put a flyer out. Hey, thanks for coming to the bake sale. Thanks for buying the Girl Scout cookies this year. By the way, if you'll notice, we can also benefit from real estate. Just saying. Well, I don't have any real estate to give. That's okay. Maybe you can share a video for us online. Have a great day. Friends, when that poll is out, you're not trying to convince all those tiny little fish that get caught up in the net. You're not trying to get them to get on that hook. Their mouth's not big enough. They don't want what is on that lure. They're just over in the net. Grab them up over there. But you're never, ever going to even have a chance of having the big fish plopped on your table and put in your bank account if you don't have a poll out. It's kind of like when people say, well, you can't win the lottery if you don't buy a ticket. You can't get a gift of real estate if you don't let people know that you can. So that's what Tuesday's about. Thank you for letting me ramble on, because some of you are really irritated by this video. And some of you are like, oh, I had no idea. That makes a lot of sense. Thank you for the information. So whether you go in the net, or whether you get on the pole, or whether you just keep swimming by, it's happening. Last week, a big ass fish jumped on the plate for the Scott Dawson Evangelistic Association. And now they have a free multi-million-dollar training facility. And don't be that cynical person who says, well, yeah, but we don't need a building. We don't want a training facility. We don't want to manage a property in Birmingham. Friends, it's not about finding a property for you to move into. It's about real estate from anywhere in the country, anywhere in the world in some cases, being donated, because that property owner is cash conservative and asset abundant, and they love you enough to donate the property. We, our team of experts, facilitates it and gives you the proceeds. So, not suggesting that you need a building, but I know that you need more cash. Whether you're for-profit or nonprofit, you need more cash. We all need money to make the world spin around. Like it or not, if you're not making money for yourself, you're going to go make it for somebody else at a job. And if you are a fundraiser, which is a job for a nonprofit, or an executive director, or any of the other wonderful fundraisers or employment, don't be so hung up on, well, what if this doesn't work? And what if I look bad? And what if people make fun of me at the office? What if you actually do your research and you bring in one of the experts to show your board, like Dr. Russell James? Dr. James has been teaching this for decades at Texas Tech. He teaches financial advisors how to do estate planning. He teaches nonprofits, charities, charitable contributions. He teaches people the words that work. He teaches how to talk to donors about giving big assets. Reach out to him on LinkedIn. Tell him The Rock sent you. Tell him Cami Baker sent you. He will send you 100 resources and videos and lingo, not only around the fact that this is happening, it's been happening, but about how to make it happen. And he wrote the foreword for our book. And in the book, he says, people can see the numbers and they can nod their head, but then nothing. They are fear-based. They're fear-based. Dr. James says that. He says nonprofits are fear-based. Realtors, what even is charitable real estate? What even is that? He says in the foreword. But see, between Dr. James and myself and a handful of other big experts in this field, let's educate your board. And when they see the magnitude, the Nature Conservancy has been doing this for decades. And Jackie Franey at the Nature Conservancy is quoted as saying that the same donors on your donor list will give you 3 to 7 times more than you're currently accepting when you are able to accept the proceeds, not the title, not the asset. Don't want you doing that. Too complicated, risky. Don't go down that rabbit hole. But when you have experts that can help you facilitate it and then just take the cash, you can 3 to 7 times what your donors are giving you right now. Dr. James has done the research. Cash, nonprofits that take in cash grow at 11% the rate. Nonprofits that take in non-cash assets, in our case, real estate, can grow at 66% the rate. So don't worry about what if this doesn't work or what if I look silly or stupid. No. What if you are the innovator? What if you help lead the revolution? What if you bring hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars into your nonprofit because you took the time to get educated? Tuesday is the masterclass. And if you can't come because you just got a board meeting, you can't change or rearrange, we do have it in recorded version. Happy to help. Let us know when you're ready. See you Tuesday.